Hey there everybody, Professor Cloud here with our next episode of Professor Builds a Satisfactory. We are really at the end point where everything that we need to do is focusing on getting to ballistic warp drive completion and nuclear pasta completion. So throughout this video we're going to need to make some, we're going to need to change a bunch of productions around using the existing machines that we already have in place. As we wrap up one thing, we'll switch it over to another one, and so on and so forth. And we're going to need to do that a few times until we get all of the pieces in place for the ballistic warp drive and what's even required for those pieces. But we're getting so very close. I can absolutely see, I know I keep saying this, the light at the end of the tunnel. One thing to be aware of throughout this video, I will be turning off facilities in order to allow for power to be used both with summer sloops, which increases power dramatically, but also because of the big machines that we're using for all of the dark matter pieces. But as we slow down the production of the dark matter, we can transfer over some of that power primarily to the freaking particle accelerator for nuclear pasta. Why they require so much nuclear pasta, which takes so long to produce, I just don't know. I think they could have chosen a better component. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump back in and take a look at what all needs to get done, all of the conversions, in order to get to the pieces that we need. Okay, everybody, here we are back at the hub, and it is time for the cutover. What I mean by that is we need to swap out what all of these are doing so that we can keep moving forward towards the ballistic warp drive. As you'll notice here in my inventory, I have 100 thermal propulsion rockets. Those are part of the ballistic warp drive recipe. And if we're going to use summer sloops for those, that'll get us exactly to 200 ballistic warp drives. But we still need superposition oscillators, we still need singularity cells, we need more radio control units for the nuclear pasta, plus an extra 100 for the nuclear pasta just to create the ballistic warp drives as well. So what I want to do is, this was creating the thermal propulsion rockets, this was creating the modular engines. We don't need either one of those anymore, so we can convert those. What I want to do is get rid of this altogether. And we're going to convert this first one into the radio control units, and we're going to take the radio control units out and directly into what's creating the pressure conversion cubes. So what we need to do is the following. I'm going to take the computers. We're going to put those in here. Now I've got a couple of radio control units. Let's put... Where did they go? I've lost them. There they are. Okay, so those are in there. We're going to change this to radio control unit. I've already done it. Next is the crystal oscillators. Okay. And then the last one is going to be the aluminum casings. Let me go ahead and stand up the industrial. There we go. And I'm going to make that a Mark II. Very good. Alright. Take all. Put those in there. There's no way that's all of them. There's no freaking way. Alright, we can turn this on. There we go. And then I'm going to run this. Nope. Oops, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. There we go. Okay. So now I need to fix this. Alright, we're going to run from here. Mark 2. Okay, let me put some extra... No, Brian, that's not smart. And I don't need that one. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that will keep radio control units running, which will then feed... I don't know why I have the storage unit here. I really don't need it, considering I have one right here, but... Matter of fact, here, let's get rid of that. There we go. Yeah, I'm not really sure why I kept that storage unit there. But in any case, I now have an assembler here that is taking in the fused modular frames combined with the radio control units, creating pressure conversion cubes at 2 each, rather than the 1 each that is the default recipe. So I'm going to put... Oops, that's not what I wanted. Radio control units in here. So as you can see, we've got a ton already. We need 1,000 if we're going off of the 2-to-1 of summer sloops. So that's 800, 807 plus the 50 that's here. So we only need another 150 or so. So that's fantastic. This is creating pressure conversion cubes, of which we already have 111. We need 100 of them to produce the ballistic warp drives. This is going to be singularity cells, however. So we need to switch this over. Nuclear pasta, dark matter crystal, 100 iron plate, 200 concrete per. That's per. So we need to convert all of this. That means I'm going to have a crap ton of extra rubber here. Huh. Interesting. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of all of these. Wow, I actually had enough room for all of that in my inventory. Huh. I'm very surprised by that, really, to be completely honest. Actually, I'm not sure I need that. Well, we'll see. Alright, let me put... Really, all of this can go... in the fix-it. And that's probably what I am going to do. But at the same time... Alright, hold on a minute. Do I... Oh, the rubber's refilled. Okay, never mind. I was going to take the extra rubber and put it in there. The rubber I'm absolutely going to put into the fix-it. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing with the modular frame, the modular engines. See if we can get some more tickets. I really want to get to 100 tickets before we wrap all of this up. Okay. So those were 2 pieces of this. Now, in order for us to create these items, we're going to need a lot of crap. So let's go ahead and put... I'm going to put 1 here on this side. And then 1 here on this side. Actually, let's do it this way. Because the reason why I need the industrial for the concrete and the iron plates, but not the other 2 items. The other 2 items are a much smaller number. So I want to put... 100 per minute and 200 per minute. Okay, so this can be a Mark II. This will be the concrete, or this will be the iron plates. The other one will be the concrete. Okay, so let me put another one right there. And then we will put another industrial here. This one will be a Mark III. There we go. Alright, so now I just need to fill them up. That's going to be a little easier said than done. Well, actually, no it won't. Because oh no, these are pressure conversion cubes. That's right. I need to craft those into nuclear pastas first before I can actually put those over into here. But I can absolutely go get concrete and put that into there. That I'll probably just do in between episodes because there's really no point in me or you watching me do all of that. Okay, the next thing is going over to the AI, the quantum encoder, and we want to turn on neural quantum processors first, get the 100 of that for the milestone to get some extra dark matter crystals. So this is turned on for neural quantum processors, but we don't have any of the items. Yeah, so this is none. Why is this one in a different location? Okay, let me fix that. Because if we're going to do this, let's at least let them look the same. And it didn't even need to be there. It could have been lined up. I don't know why it didn't. Alright, that'll just have to be good enough. There we go. Alright, so for neural quantum processors, we need fixit trigons, supercomputers, and time crystals. And we need 100, therefore we need 500 time crystals, 1,500 fixit trigons, and 100 supercomputers. The time crystals are up top. Hold on a minute. I thought I... Hold on. Oh. Never mind. We're done. Never mind. I don't even need to worry about that. We can now switch this over to superposition oscillators. Okay. So, superposition oscillators are aluminum, crystal oscillators, and dark matter crystal. So for... We need how many superposition oscillators? We need 225. And the reason why that particular number is because I did decide to add the main portal and satellite portal. You'll notice in my to-do list, because I'm at least going to go ahead and put it in place and test it out. Getting back and forth to the aluminum or oil fields right now isn't that big of an issue, other than maybe getting some more aluminum sheeting. Actually, let me see what the intake is. Oh, 45 per minute. Never mind. Okay, so for dark matter crystal, we need 6 times 225. That's 1,200. Let's just say 1,400 to be safe. Or even 1,500. Eh. There's 14. We're not going to have enough dark matter crystal to do the singularity cells. I don't think. Okay, so there's that. And then what was the other thing? Crystal oscillators. Okay, so I'm going to need to go and grab some of those because I definitely don't have enough. I'll just need to grab 225, though, really, to be honest. That way it'll guarantee that we get the exact number of superposition oscillators that we need. Okay, so let me go and do that. I'm going to drop off the neural quantum processors at the milestone. I'm going to put the remaining 9 in to fix it because I don't need them anymore. Hopefully we'll get a whole bunch of points for that. Okay, there we go. So now I just need the 500 fused modular frames, and I really don't want to do that until after we've got more of the pressure conversion cubes done. Okay, let me go get some more crystal oscillators. Actually, hold on a minute. How many do we have here? 1, 2... There's 225. I'm not sure that we need to go get more. Because we've almost got 800 in here. That's going to produce another 200. Yeah, I'm not sure that we need to get any more. I apparently have some... Yep, I do. There we go. Yeah, I don't think we need to actually go and get any more. Alright, let me go drop these into the quantum encoder and we'll get the superposition oscillators crafting. Yeah, I think the biggest problem we're going to run into now is a lack of dark matter crystal. Because if we just needed, say, 1,500 just then... I think we need 3,000 to craft the singularity cells. If we need 500 singularity cells, then we need 1,000 dark matter crystal. So maybe not. We might be okay. Actually, hold on. I know why there's a problem. There we go. We really only need 500 singularity cells to hit 100 ballistic warp drives. Yes. Oh. So that only reduced our dark matter crystal requirement to 5,000? Okay, hold on. Oh, there's why. We're going to need... If we need 200... That's 8... That's 4,000. Yeah, we're going to need 4,000 for the ballistic warp drive. That's where the problem is. So we're probably going to have to double up on dark matter crystal production. That's going to be interesting. Why did I come here? I don't know why I just came here. Well, while I'm here, let me see how this is doing. Okay, plenty of that. Okay. I'm probably going to have to bring some more over, but... we might not be in bad shape there. Alright, let's put in the crystal oscillators. There we go. And this is already turned on, so it should go ahead and get started. Yeah, it's going ahead and getting started immediately. Alright, good. Now, I have no idea if there's enough aluminum sheeting in there, so I may have to get more of that over time, but... Alright, so that is the swap over that we needed in order to keep things moving forward. The next thing is figuring out how we're going to get to the finish line. And what I mean by that is I know that we need 500 pressure conversion cubes to craft 1,000 nuclear pasta if we're using summer sloops. But that requires a particle accelerator. And this needs dark matter crystal, iron plate, concrete. So there's things I'm going to have to do here as well. I'm probably going to have to run around to get some things done. All right, let's put you in there. Yeah, and I've got 36 supercomputers that I can turn into points. Oh, I wanted to go put the fused modular frames. Yeah, let's, just to make that look a little cleaner. I screwed up. Yep, I screwed up. Thankfully, it had enough in there that it can keep going. Okay, let's put these where they belong. There. And then this needs to go from here to there. That's the correct location. And then we still have summer sloops. I have summer sloops over at the computer facility, and I have summer sloop. I have 2 of them right here, and then I have another 4 over at the blender that's creating the fused modular frames, plus 2 more in my inventory. So, this is where I'm going to say goodbye for the next... Well, for you, it's only going to be a second or 2. But I'm going to go run and get some more aluminum sheeting. I'm also going to make sure that the aluminum casings keep flowing. I'm also going to go ahead and get the iron plates and concrete that are needed for the singularity cells, so that we'll have those getting started. What else is needed in here? Oh, the nuclear pasta. That's going to be the one that's going to be the problem. Yep. And then... that should do it. The ballistic warp drive is thermal propulsion rockets, the singularity cells, the superpositions, and then more dark matter crystal. Okay. Yeah, so this is where things are going to get interesting. Once the superposition oscillators are done, I can actually disconnect the quantum encoder and the converter that's creating the photonic matter that eventually feeds into the quantum encoder. I can turn those both off, so that reduces power draw. But I'm going to need a particle accelerator here as soon as possible, because I'm going to also have to set that up. and we'll do that probably when we come back, is set up the particle accelerator for nuclear pastas. And then I also, though, am probably going to need a particle accelerator to craft more dark matter crystal using the reanimated SAM, splitting that off. Or not necessarily even splitting it off, just taking it, because I don't really need the reanimated SAM anymore. So we definitely still have some work to do, but I hope you all are seeing the finish line. I definitely am. Okay, I will see you in a few seconds while I go and run some errands. Okay, so there has been some time since you heard me last, and it is now time to make another switcheroo. So let's talk about what that means. This manufacturer here has been set up for singularity cells, and the singularity cells are what are going to be required for the warp drive, the ballistic warp drive. Specifically 100 of them. It's a 5-to-1 ratio, therefore the 500 singularity cells. Now, if you'll notice, we already have the concrete, we already have the iron plates. The dark matter crystals are being produced as we speak, although I don't think that we have enough of them. And then we need 50 nuclear pasta, because 1 equals 10. Sorry, 1 equals 20. Which means that instead of the 1,000 that we need for Phase 5, we need 1,050. Now, to create 1,000 nuclear pasta, we need 1,000 pressure conversion cubes. But if we double the output using summer sloops, we'll actually only need 500. Well, we're currently at 351. So we're getting very close to that number as it is. We could actually go ahead and take 50 of these and produce 50 nuclear pasta right now, or even take 25 of them and create 50 nuclear pasta right now, and therefore start the singularity cells producing. But the key piece of this is, what do we need to produce another 200 pressure conversion cubes? Well, if we need 200, we therefore need 200 fused modular frames and 400 radio control units. Or, because we're doubling them, we need half of that. So we only need 100 fused modular frames and 200 radio control units. How many do we have? Well, we have 50 each in there. More than enough radio control units. More than enough fused modular frames. And we're still producing more fused modular frames, because if you'll look at the milestone for Mark III, which is the last milestone that we need, we need another 500. So, the great thing is, we no longer need to produce radio control units. So what I'm doing is I'm letting this run out, because we only have 60 computers. So I'm going to let this run out and produce as many radio control units as it can with those remaining computers. The rest of these aluminum sheeting will then go over to the production of fused modular frames to create the 500 that we need. Now, the next thing to mention is that I have been turning off buildings. I've basically been cutting power to buildings to reduce what is needed. This building is still powered in case we need smart iron plates. I'm not sure if I've gotten enough, but I think I have. The next thing is we need superposition oscillators. Those are for the ballistic warp drive. So if we bring up ballistic warp drive, we need 2-to-1, so we need 200. The remaining 25 are for the gates. So what I want to actually do is I want to start with the production of the gates, because then we're going to need quite a bit of other stuff in order to make the necessary transition to nuclear pasta, more dark matter crystal production, things like that. And I want to make sure that all of the superposition oscillators are complete. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the main gate over here. next thing to mention, actually, while I'm here, is I have been putting stuff in here. And look at how many coupons we have. So let's print some coupons and put them in our inventory. So now we got 129. We're never going to get enough to get that item that's 1,000, but still very cool to have that many. And I can put a whole lot more in there because I got all of this stuff. Now I need to keep the thermal propulsion rockets are required for the ballistic warp drive, so I can't do anything with those. But the cooling systems and the motors and the smart plates can all go into the Awesome Sync. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I haven't missed anything and that I've got everything ready for the final pieces. I am going to go ahead and take out the... I will go ahead and do that, because that's easy. In fact, I'll take another couple of hundred, put those in there too. There we go. I have no idea if that's going to help me from a tickets perspective or not, but, you know, anyway. Alright, so we can power the gate by putting it right here. Main portal. We need... Oh, we actually need radio control units and superposition oscillators. Okay, so we need some fix-it trigons. Okay, so I'm gonna need 75 fix-it trigons, the 25 superposition oscillators, and 15 radio control units. And then I've already got the turbo motors in my inventory. All right, so let's go gather materials. I think I said 15. Okay, 6, 13, that's 19. That's good enough. Alright, so that's that. We need the 25 superposition oscillators. And 75 fix-it trigons. Now, fix-it trigons are easy. I can go grab these right up here. I have already turned all of this off because we have 24, 48, almost 72,000 copper powder here. And then we've got another probably closer to 72,000 down at the other. That's 140. We only need 100 to produce the 1,000. So let's say we need 110 to produce the 1,050. Okay, so we need 75. I'll just take 200 and I'll put the rest of them in the Awesome Sync. All right, so let's do that. Let's grab our superposition oscillators. $225. Never mind, we'll just take them all. Now, here's the great thing. I can actually get rid of this storage unit, and the whatever the hell that thing is called, the converter upstairs, because the converter, one of the converters up there was only being used to produce the photonic matter, the excited photonic matter. It's the only reason it was being used. Everything else was coming from outside storage. So this is now done. The only thing we have left as a requirement is dark matter crystal. So let's see how many we have. We have 1,600, 1,873. Okay, we can get rid of this now. Okay, we have another 440 here. So let's go ahead and grab that. We'll put the remaining dark matter crystal in its storage. So now 16, 2,000, 2218, 2318. And we need a total of 5. So we definitely need more. which means we're going to have some work to do here, and we'll come back to do that in a little bit. Now, 200 of the superposition oscillators I'm going to put into the storage with the thermal propulsion rockets. That way we don't lose them and they're ready to go when we're ready to start crafting the ballistic warp drive. Which, as soon as the radio control unit manufacturer is done, we can go ahead and swap that over to the ballistic warp drive and be good to go. Alright, so let's put U200 in there. Alright. Main portal. Now, of course, I'm still going to have to go over to... Holy crap. Oh, this requires something to work. Alright, well, let's figure out what that is.
You have finally built a portal. Perhaps now your progress won't be as slow. To ensure no further delays happen, I will give you some tips. A functional portal is two-way and requires one main and one satellite portal, each only connecting to the other. Establishing a portal connection will require input of singularity cells, vast amounts of power, and some patience. Before you continue, you could still change the placement of that one, it seems, suboptimal.
Okay, so apparently we need singularity cells. I don't have the ability to craft them yet. Let's see if we can buy them so that we can at least give this a try. No. No. We can't. Okay. So I'm going to be able to put the portals down, but I can't actually do anything about it. Well, that sucks. Yeah, that really truly sucks. And then we select the linked portal. Yeah, it needs at least one singularity cell per minute. And then, of course, we have to run it off power. What's the power requirements? It doesn't really say. It says 0.1 megawatts, but something tells me that that's not true. Well, in any case, let's go stand up the satellite portal. That way it's there. Well, let me see what happens if I connect this to... Interesting. Yeah, so it's not actually drawing any power because it doesn't have any fuel. So I have made some huge changes here. Obviously, you can see I've turned off a lot. We're now in the 3,000 to 4,200 range, but we've got 9,200. So we've got plenty of overhead. And I think we've got enough overhead to do what we're going to need in order to support the rest of the building. In the meantime, I am going to run over to the oil fields because that's where I want to put up the satellite portal. Let me make sure that I've got what I need. Yep, I've got everything that I need. I wonder if you have to power both sides or if you only need to power the one side. Because what we can do is craft like 5 extra singularity cells and see what happens. But in the meantime, I'm going to head over to the oil fields, and I will see you when I get over there. Okay, so we are back here at the oil fields, and the reason I chose this specific location is because it's a little bit more centrally located, so if I need to go over to get rubber, or I need to go over and do something at the aluminum facility, I can do that. So what I would probably want to do here is put the satellite one right about here, and then connect it like that. And we can select, that's the satellite, there we go. So now we have a nice connection between the two. And if we can ever get... Oops. There we go. Oh, I have to actually select link. Alright. So, it's time to head back. I cannot do it this way. Yeah. See? Doesn't work. Okay. I'm going to head back. We are good to go on that now. It's time to start making some production adjustments to really work towards the actual final pieces that we need. We are very, very close, and I know I've said that before, but each little step gets us one step closer. So, I'll see you when I get back. Oh, one real quick thing is I did pick up the summer sloops that I was using to produce computers. Now that we're going to be turning off the radio control unit production, there's no reason for me to be worrying about computers. I'm letting them continue to produce just in case I've missed something, I've forgotten something. But I've just turned off the double production. That also reduced our power draw because, not sure if everybody knows this, but for each summer sloop, it will increase your power draw by 100%. So the original manufacturer is 55 megawatts. With one, it would have, if it had allowed for one, it would have gone up to 110. But with four, it went up to 220. So it went up 400%. So we at least gained another 150 or so of available power. So now the next thing is to start making some conversions. This is still working. It's got 50 in the queue and 12 there. I mean, I could go ahead and put the summer sloops on it, but I'm not ready to do that yet. All right, the next thing we need is a particle accelerator. We actually need two of them. The reason we need two is we're going to need one for the nuclear pasta, taking the pressure conversion cubes and copper powder to produce those nuclear pasta. That requires turbo motors, supercomputers, of which I have both in my inventory already. I'm going to need 50 total fused modular frames and 100 total of cooling systems. It's one of the reasons why I kept the cooling systems around. So let's go over here and grab... Actually, let's go ahead and put these like that. I'll take that. Oh. I keep hitting the wrong buttons. Cooling systems. I think I need 100. Turbo motor, supercomputer, fused modular frame, cooling system, and quick wire. I think we've got everything then. Yep, we've got everything. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this platform. We're going to extend, first of all, to add... This will be where the copper powder comes from. And then we will put... I don't know how much I'm gonna need, how much room I'm gonna need, but because I don't remember how big they are. All right, that'll be good. All right, particle accelerator. We need to turn it this way. All right, let's put you that, like that. Okay, I had it lined up. Why is it not lined up now? Okay. Okay, so that's the pressure conversion cubes. Nuclear pasta. Now this goes it starts at 500 and will go up to 50 go up to 1,500. We've got the headroom, so we don't need to worry about that. The only thing I need to do now is bring over copper powder, and we can start producing nuclear pasta. Oh. Oh, boy. That's going to go through the roof. That's going to send the power through the roof. I can almost guarantee it. Well, we'll see what happens. All right, let me go get some powder. Let me go ahead and put an industrial. How much does it need per minute? 100 per minute. So Mark II. Whereas the conversion cubes are half per minute. Yep. All right. Let me go grab copper powder. And let's see what happens to the power draw. Because here's the problem. The reason why we need a second particle accelerator is because we're going to need to make more dark matter crystal. And the only way to do that when we are not getting dark matter residue from the quantum encoder anymore is we're going to have to... All right, we can get rid of this. Let's go ahead and do it with this one. Can I take all? I can. Where was I? Oh, because we don't have dark matter residue coming out of the quantum encoder anymore, we've got to get dark matter residue from someplace else. And the only place to do that, unfortunately, and I'm going to fill this in just because I'm anal, is using the animated SAM. Reanimated SAM, sorry. Okay, so there's that. Now, I want to collect the first 50. So I'm going to go ahead and just let this run. So that it can collect the first 50 here. And then as soon as the first 50 are done, we can go ahead and move those over and put them into the manufacturer for the singularity cells. And we'll see what happens. I still have 4 more summer sloops over doing fused modular frames. And I have 2 more working here on pressure conversion cubes. Now, these aren't really affecting power draw all that much, but one thing I do want to do... Okay, this is still working. Okay, this is now empty. That's good. Alright, that's close to full. Alright, what I'm going to do real quickly is I'm going to go take... all of this over to the fused modular frames and grab some more, because I know I'm going to need some more. And then on the way back, we're going to grab all of the dark matter crystals and figure out what we want to do to create more. All that we're really going to need to do is split off of the existing line of reanimated SAM that's coming from the tunnel, which right now, none of it's being used. It was originally being used to produce something. Oh, SAM fluctuators. But we're not producing those anymore. We don't have a need for them. And we ran out of something. I think iron pipe, maybe. How much diamonds do we... How many diamonds do we have? Oh, we don't have a lot of diamonds at all. Okay. I'm going to actually get rid of this quantum encoder altogether. And you'll see why when I come back. So let's go back over to here. Put these aluminum casings into the fused modular frame production. And actually it's out, so that was a good call. There we go. Let's see how many we got over here. Okay, we've got another 100, so we'll grab those. Yeah, okay. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is remove power from everything up top, which is easy. All I've got to do is cut this line. And then the power for the quantum encoder is actually coming from over there. What I'm going to do is completely remove the quantum encoder. And I can get rid of that because there's nothing in it. So here's where the problem lies. Okay, so... Oh, I'm wrong. Hold on a minute. Oh, no, no, I'm not. Okay, so this needs now to get dark matter from someplace else. This is what's producing the diamonds. We now need to get dark matter from someplace, dark matter residue from someplace else. So, I don't think I have... Yeah, I don't have the... Oh, I know how to do this. I know how to do this. Okay, particle accelerator. Uh-huh. That's what I was afraid of. Alright, let me... So what I need to do is make it so that the output... So what's going to happen here is the following. We're going to make this a... Oh, no, we're not. Oh, man, how do we make dark matter residue? I'm missing something. Yeah. Oh, it can be done in a converter. Oh. Oh, well, this is much easier than I thought. I don't need another particle accelerator after all. How did we... Oh, because I'm using the summer sloops. Yeah. We're going to have to take the summer sloops out. Alright. Then let's move the converter. The one that's up on the second floor. Let me put these dark matter crystal in here real quick. Alright, so we're just going to have to figure out how to get the reanimated Sam in here, but that shouldn't be a big issue. So we put a converter here, and then we just run pipeline from here to there. And actually, no, we got to make it straight. There we go. So if we do dark matter residue, reanimated Sam, so it needs 50 per minute, and it's going to produce 100 per minute of dark matter residue. That's all that we need. That's it. So we can run power from here to here. And then we just need to get the reanimated Sam into here. So the reanimated Sam is right over here. All we need to do is put a splitter. Come on. Okay. Like that. That was a Mark 1. Okay, and then let's switch this to straight. Easiest thing, I think, is to go right there. It keeps jumping. Right at the very end. See what I mean? As soon as I hit the button, it jumped. Wow, that is annoying. Okay, so now I need to... It's still... Why? There we go. Okay, it is slowly making it. I mean, I suppose I could make it 120 per minute, but... Alright, so that's going to produce our dark matter residue. That'll then go back into here, and we will be able to continue making more dark matter crystal. We need a total of 5,000 for... What, do I have 200 in my inventory? Oh, I have 200 in my inventory. A total of 5,000 for the singularity cells. Alright, I do have 46 reanimated in my inventory. Let's go ahead and put that in there. You can put that in there. I don't need that. Okay. Alright, let's go fix the power problem of the summer sloops. That really sucks. It means I'm going to have to wait for a lot of other things to finish before I can feel comfortable putting the summer sloops in for the nuclear pasta. That, or I'm going to have to run around and create some more power. Yeah, the problem is I think it needs... It probably needs 6,000 of overhead instead of 4. Yep. I was right. It needs 6,000. Damn. Okay, here we go. What? That was weird. What? Crap. I'm probably gonna have to... Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to do it this way. This is gonna suck. But... Oh, did I put it all in? Oh, I did. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I don't have enough overhead. So we've got capacity of 10, but that's a little bit, it's going to drop down below 10 at its lowest point, and this is going to range from 4 to, you add another 6, that's, 10 or 11, depending, and that's just, it's not going to be able to handle it. So we're probably going to have to wait until we have enough dark matter crystal so that we can then shut all of that down, and then that will free up probably 1,000, 1,500, maybe even as much as 2,000. I could also go completely shut down the crystal oscillator production, because that's quite a few facilities as well. I don't know how much that would actually turn off from a power perspective, but it is something that we could certainly do. Oh, I don't have this powered up. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Alright, we're still going to continue to do it this way for at least the first 50 that we need for the singularity cells, but unfortunately it's just not what we need for to do it the way that I want to do it. I'll put it that way. Alright, let's see where we are here. We're down to 41. Okay, so this just needs to run out so that there's, and then we can turn this off, and that'll be another 55 megawatts turned off. Of course, we're going to then switch this over to the ballistic warp drive. In the meantime, we have a crap ton of stuff that we can... I'm going to go ahead and grab all of the smart plates and put them in here. There we go. Why is that in my inventory? I'm going to put the fix-it trigons in here. I'm holding off on the cooling systems for right now, simply because I may need to create another particle accelerator or another converter. I don't think I need them for manufacturers, but you never know. So hopefully we can get some more coupons, but let's see what we can buy with 129 coupons in the Fix-It Specials aisle. So we could get the lizard doggo statue, the hog, the pretty good engineering. We wait, we might be able to get the satisfactory pioneering statue. But I think I'd rather have the lizard doggo. So let's go ahead and add that. Buy all.
Congratulations on purchasing this statue. It is a truly spectacular and one-off event. If you believe you have heard this message before, please examine yourself for signs of temporal anomalies.
Very small. Okay, it's not as small as I thought it was. It's still smaller than this one certainly is. There we go. Hey, and he's facing us. That's cool. I wonder if we can destroy this. No, you can't. I wanted to see if we could get the tickets back and replace it with the silver one instead, but apparently not. No. Okay, well, that's cool. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the episode here. That's 2 complete changeovers of production. We're still not quite there. We probably need a couple more episodes to really get everything that we want, but we're getting there. We're getting there quickly. And in between episodes, I will go turn off the crystal oscillator production, so that's at least one more thing that we can turn off. I can always go and turn off the computer facility as well. I don't know how much that would help, but that is definitely something else that we could go do. In the meantime, we need to wait on nuclear pasta and dark matter crystal. Those are the 2 big things that we're waiting on at the moment. The singularity cells require the dark matter crystal as well as the 50 nuclear pasta. We'll be able to put the summer sloops into here. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and do that right now in order to produce the 100, or not 100, 500 that we need with the smaller number of materials. Because then the ballistic warp drive, 100 ballistic warp drives require 500 singularity cells, but of course we're going to double the production of those as well, using the exact same process. At least that's the plan anyway. I'll put it that way. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the episode here. I hope that you've been enjoying the content as always. And if you have, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, or comment button. And hopefully I'll see you in the next episode. Talk to you soon.